Hello everyone, welcome to this video. My name is Amitabh, a DevOps engineer and AWS community builder in a containers category. In this video, we are going to see Amazon S3 cross-origin resource sharing. We will do the hands-on and try to figure out what are the CORS errors and how we allow the origin to access the resources in between multiple origins. So without any delay, let's get started. In simple terms, if I have to explain the CORS, cross origin resource sharing, so suppose this is your Amazon S3 bucket 1, and suppose S3 1. So this is your bucket 1, and now you have similarly bucket 2, and both are enabled with the S3 static website hosting, and both have the different endpoints. And suppose it contains index.html and the CSS file for the index.html. Okay, so this is the bucket 1 content, and then we have the bucket 2, which is also have the index.html and the CSS related to it, and even we can remove the CSS from here. So it has a index.html here also, and both are enabled the static website hosting. So they have the domain like http:// example.com. Suppose in AWS we have the Amazon URL, and this is the website hosting for this. And similarly, we have the other dot example.com. You can imagine both the URL with the Amazon static website URL for the static website. So these are the both URL. And now in the S3 bucket contain we have the index.html, and now we have to access the index.html from bucket 2 to the bucket 1. If it is inside the bucket 1, we can easily access it and we can view that page. But if it is stored in the second bucket and this different domain, and we have to internally request to that page, so that where the cross origin resource sharing comes in a phase that allow us to resource sharing between the multiple origins like example.com and the other example.com without any error and the delay. So this helps us to get the access of resources in between multiple origins. And sometimes we have seen the cross course error, which is a cross origin resource sharing error, which is blocked by the origin. So suppose this bucket doesn't allow this origin to access the index.html. So there will be the CORS error going to be occur, and you can visit from the developer console. And similarly, if the second bucket and the second origin want to access the content from this S3 bucket or the example.com, they can internally request and the program. So we can define a script inside the, which is the Python script or the JavaScript. We can internally request fetch the request from this URL like example.com and get the specific HTML and the CSS file. So they are requesting internally from the different origin. So where the cross origin resource sharing allow us to share the resources in between both without any error. So we have the cross origin policy. So we are allowing the headers or the endpoint and the URL that these are the origin that is allowed to access from this URL. So in the, suppose for example in this bucket, and we want to allow this URI or the URL, so we can define in S3 bucket, in this S3 bucket, that this origin is allowed to access the content from this bucket. So this is what the theory related to the cross origin ratio sharing. And even you have seen while developing some platform and the application, the course error, that the course error has been blocked the access. So this all we are going to see in this video. So let's start the hands-on. So we will create one bucket, and this is going to be account regional. So it can be S3 cross origin. We can define like demo cross origin, So this will be our origin bucket, and we can just like S3 origin, and we can disable, keep the things empty, just like default setting. Just uncheck all the public access, as we are going to make this website and the bucket as a static website hosting, so that we can get an endpoint, and I will show you the CORS error and the concept. So disable the versioning and just create the bucket. And if you don't know how to do the static website hosting, you can watch my previous video, or also I will cover in this video also. So for detail, you can watch the previous video. I will go fast in this video for the static website. So I will upload the content that is needed to host in this. So I will get the style.css index, extra style CSS, and the extra page, and the coffee.jpg. So these are all files that is needed. I will upload it and just wait for it and close it. And now we have the static website. So for that, we need to go inside the properties, and in the end of the page, you will see the static website hosting. Edit it and just enable it, and mention the index dot html page, and just save it. And after you save it, make sure you go to the permission and you have the bucket policy to allow the get object. So I will add the one statement which is for the S3, and action we want to perform the get object, sorry, object. So this will be the get object, and the resource we want to provide to this ARN of bucket. So I will add the resource for the object, an object inside this bucket. So slash star all the objects, I will add the resource. And for principal, we are allowing all the accounts, and we are just saving this. So now we have the public access. And now if I go to the properties and go inside this URL and the endpoint that we have got, so you can see we have deployed the static website. So the website look like this, and the cross origin is working that because in the bucket one that we have created, this bucket, we have the extra page.html inside it. So we are not making a cross origin request sharing and the resource sharing. We have the content that we have defined in the same bucket. That's why we can access the page. So once this removed, it is going to give the cross error. So I will show you that also. So for that, I will first show you the code inside it. So this is our index.html that we are using. So we are fetching the extra page.html that is inside the same bucket. That's why we are able to fetch it. And now if we update this URL, definitely we are going to get the error. So before that, firstly we will delete the extra page.html. So this is the extra page.html. So just I will remove it. So I will delete it with a permanent delete. And once it deleted, so the file is deleted, and if I refresh this URL, you will see the 404 error. But this is not error that I want to show you. I will show you the cross origin access. So for that, we need to create another bucket. So we will create another bucket where we will upload that file, and then we will update this fetch URL so that we can get the cross origin resource access error. Then we will solve that error also. Okay. And then we have the account regional namespace recommended. We can define demo S3 cross origin uh, other bucket. So we can define like this. Then we will go like this, disable it and acknowledge, just like we have done for the bucket one. We will also do it as the static website hosting. So we will upload that file that is needed, which is a extra page, and we will open it, upload it, and close it. And now we will go to the properties. Inside properties, we have to enable the static website hosting. So we have enabled it. We can mention any name, just index.html. We will use it as a reference. We are not actually deploying an website hosting. So we have done that. In permission, we have to add a bucket policy so that we can get a public access. And in S3, we have to allow the get object. And in get object, this is the resource. So we will add a resource, a box object, then we will paste it and inside all the content. And for the principal, we have to allow star and we will just save the changes. And now we can access the bucket object with the object URL. If you see, you can see this is the cross origin delivered page that we have seen. So we have done deployed both of the bucket, and now I will show you the cross origin resource blocked error. So for that we need this endpoint of that bucket. So in bucket one, and we are going to copy this origin URL. So this is what origin URL look like. And in our index.html, in our first bucket, I will just update this URL to request the extra page dot html, and not this endpoint. We need to have the second endpoint bucket. So we need to go to second bucket and we will need to copy this bucket URI, not the first bucket URI. Yeah, so this is the that we have to update, and I will upload inside the bucket one this index.html. So go to the bucket and objects, and we will upload it. So we have updated this the index.html. We will upload it, and now we will get the cross origin resource access error. So this is what the page we have deployed, and if I refresh this page, you can see these are waiting for the cross origin response. And if I go to this URL, I mean the developer console, you can see there is a cross error, so access to fetch. So we have the blocked by cross CORS policy. No access control allow origin header is present on the requested resource. So I hope you understand. Now we are requesting from the another bucket and it has given the CORS error that we have shown. And now if you have to solve this error, what we have to do, we just have to copy this URL of the static web page of the first bucket that we have deployed, and we need to go inside the our code that I have written. So inside I have written a course policy.json. So we just need to update this allowed origin sad because we are allowing the bucket one origin to access the content inside the bucket two. So we need the or allowed origin. So we are allowing the bucket one origin, and make sure you remove the slash from the end because it is required to remove, else it will not work. And we are allowing the header as the authorization and the method is the get. We are requesting, and accordingly the allowed origin, the URL that is allowed, and the max age second and the expose header. So we will just copy this. You can use the repo URL inside the description and get all the codes from the GitHub. So we will copy this and we will go inside the second bucket, and in second bucket we will go inside the permission. Inside permission we have the cross origin resource sharing. So we can edit this and allow that origin. So these are the origin that is allowed, and this is the origin which is this URL. And then we will save the changes. And once the changes is saved, and now if I go the URL where the static web page is hosted on the bucket one and refresh this, you will see the cross origin content has been delivered without any cause error. So I hope you understand how we have gone through all the process of the cores and the different bucket deployment and the static website hosting with the public access and the cross origin resource sharing without any error. So I hope whenever you got the CORS error in your interview questions and the real application, you will understand what is the exact error and how you can solve that error. So make sure you follow these all the instruction that we have done inside this video. Even I have created a GitHub repo where you can get all the files that I have used inside it. And I'm hoping that you learned something new in this video, and drop your feedback in comment section and let me know in the comment section what makes you difficult in this video to understand. And I think according to me I have explained with a beginner friendly and whatever the best possible way. And that's all for this video. And if you wanted to delete all the content, you can simply empty the bucket and delete it. And try out this demo and tag me on LinkedIn and let me know in a comment section your feedback. So that's all for this video. I will see you in the next one. Jai Hind. Bye.